The Bluetooth device is ready to pair. Aux input mode.
Both sides of a story. 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 We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of a story. Yes, both sides of the story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backward, nor tarries with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children as living arrows are sent forth, the archers upon the path of the infinite, and he bends you with his might, that his arrows may go swift and far. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness, for even as he loves the arrow that flies, so also loves the bow that is stable.
And admit that the waters around you have grown and accepted and soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone. For the time they are unchanged. On the writers and critics who prophesize with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. Don't speak too soon, for the wheel is still in spin, and there's no telling who let it name. For the loser now will be later to win, all the time they are Senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up and fathers throughout the land. And don't criticize if you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out the new one if you can't lend your hand, for the times they are a change. The line is wrong, the person is cast. The slow one now will later be past, as the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading, and the first one now will later be last. For the time they are a change. Come gather round people wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone. For the time they are a change. Come writers and critics who prophesize with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin, and there's no telling who let its name in. For the loser now will be later to win, for the times they are a change. Come senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, no.
Hi, where were you when I was looking for you all day yesterday? Anyway, sorry. Hopefully, I'll be able to get it done. Thanks. The Times. Peter, Paul, and Mary. The times they are a changin'. And before that, the words of Khalil Gibran. Some people say Gibran, Gibran. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's long itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backward nor tarries with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children as living arrows are sent forth. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite, and he bends you with his might, that his arrows may go swift and far. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness, for even as he loves the arrow that flies, so he also loves the bow that is stable. The times continue to evolve.
Writers and critics who prophesize with your pen, and keep your go. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall, where he that gets hurt will be he who has gone. There's a battle outside and it's raging. It'll soon shake your windows and rattle your walls, for the times they are a-changing. You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 2:15.
You are an exporter, helping to elevate the face of our international trade. But in order to do that, and all the other tasks on your list, you need someone that understands you. We know that finding adequate collateral as a SME can sometimes be challenging, which is why we've partnered with our friends at JMB to bring you the Exim Expert Guarantee to give you that extra collateral support where you may need it. Call Exim Bank to find out more about the Exim Export Guarantee. Exim Bank. By helping businesses, we save lives and livelihood.
For the times they are a-changing. Come riders, ready to prophesize with your pen, and keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin, and there's no telling who that is leaving. For the loser now will be later to win, for the times they are a-changing. Come senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall, for he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. There's a battle outside and it's raging. It'll soon shake your windows and rattle your walls, for the times they are a-changing.
Indeed, in more ways than one, the times they are a-changing. 2021 to 2030 is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, and the Decade of Action for Road Safety. It's the 15th day of the 9th month of 2022, the International Year of Sustainable Mountain Development, the International Year of Basic Sciences for Sustainable Development, the International Year of Glass, and the International Year of Artisanal Fisheries and Aquaculture. Put another way, it's the 15th day of the 4th month of the 2022 Atlantic hurricane season, and the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida, has issued some key messages. Tropical storm conditions are expected in portions of the Leeward Islands within the warning area by tomorrow evening, by Friday evening. Tropical storm conditions are possible in portions of the Leeward Islands within the watch area by Friday night, tomorrow night. Heavy rains from Fiona, Tropical Storm Fiona. Heavy rains from Tropical Storm Fiona will reach the northern Leeward Islands tomorrow afternoon, spreading to the British and U.S. Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico Saturday into Sunday morning, and reaching eastern Hispaniola Sunday. This rainfall may produce flash and urban flooding along with isolated mudslides in areas of higher terrain. Fiona is expected to move near the Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and Hispaniola this weekend and early next week, and watches will likely be issued for some of those areas later today. That's the official word from the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida. Let's take a look at the implications, if any, of Tropical Storm Fiona within our region. Let's see. There's a tropical wave for sure, which is across Jamaica. And a tropical wave, as we mentioned yesterday, is described as an elongated area of relatively low air pressure. And don't be intimidated by the word elongated. It just refers to some kind of a lengthening or prolonged, long in relation to width, especially unusually so. So this tropical wave is a tropical wave is an elongated area of relatively low air pressure, oriented north to south, like it's positioned north to south, but it moves from east to west across the tropics, causing areas of cloudiness and thunderstorms. That's the tropical wave. The tropical wave will be west of Jamaica tonight. However, a trough lingers across the island into the weekend. And again, a trough is always an indication of some unstable weather in terms of clouding and rain or thunderstorms. The trough is always associated with some weather activity, either directly or indirectly. So that trough will linger across the island into the weekend. The forecast for the rest of the forecast for the rest of the afternoon into evening: showers and isolated thunderstorms, mainly across hilly areas and western parishes, partly cloudy elsewhere. So that's what's happening weather-wise. Let's check out the usual observances, and there are many for the month of September. It's still Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month, Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, National Senior Citizens Month, Employers Month, Alopecia Awareness Month. It's Travel Agents Month, Cheese Month, and this week being observed in the US as Folic Acid Awareness Week. They're also marking Blood Cancer Awareness Month, Healthy Aging Month, National Atrial Fibrillation Awareness Month, National Childhood Obesity Awareness Month, National Cholesterol Education Month, National Food Safety Education Month, National Idiopathic Thrombocytopenic Purpura ITP Awareness Month. And ITP is a condition which is now more commonly referred to as it's a condition in which it's an immune disorder in which the blood does not clot normally. The blood does not clot normally, and it's ITP for short. Also in the United States, September is National Pediculosis Prevention Month. That's head lice prevention month. National Recovery Month, National Sickle Cell Month, National Yoga Awareness Month, Newborn Screening Awareness Month, Pain Awareness Month, Polycystic Ovary Syndrome PCOS Month, Sepsis Awareness Month. Sepsis is a serious condition resulting from the presence of harmful microorganisms in the blood or other tissues, and how the body responds to their presence, potentially leading to the malfunctioning of various organs, shock, and death. September is also Sexual Health Awareness Month, Sports Eye Safety Month, and World Alzheimer's Month. The Cochabamba Local Festival is on in Bolivia. It's Independence Day in Mexico, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. International Day of Peace is being observed in Australia. Nuestra Señora de la Bien Aparecida en España, and Our Lady Mary of Sorrows in Slovakia. It's Software Freedom Day Hoy es jueves el 15 de septiembre 2022 y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir Both Sides of the Story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos. C'est jeudi le 15 septembre 2022 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue. All we're saying is it's Thursday, the 15th of September, 2022, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices, and that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome. Good afternoon to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Morant Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point. This is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuning in via the Power 106 FM app, which you have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free. Listening is free wherever, whenever. We thank those who have found other ways and means of tuning in to Both Sides of the Story here on Power 106 FM. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVANMALCOLM, and you too will be able to not just hear, but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. If you don't have a Facebook account, no sweat. There's always YouTube. All you need is a smartphone or a not-so-smartphone, a tablet, computer, laptop, desktop, any one of those. Then you need internet connection. And there's one way to test not just connection, but connectivity, which is most important. And so you need now to open a browser like Google Chrome, for example. And if you're able to browse, then it means you have internet connection, functional internet connection. And then in the search box, you can type YouTube. Before you can finish typing YouTube, the box will populate. If you're doing that now, then you should see this video trending. If not, then in the YouTube search box, type DERVANMALCOLM, and that will take you to the Dervan Malcolm YouTube channel. How about that? Looking forward to your full participation. After all, it is your program, Both Sides of the Story. There's more after the break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30. We don't know about league, we in a World Cup. The party blazes on a higher level. This Saturday, rep your sports team and come blaze with us inside High Frequency Jersey Party. 9 p.m. to midnight. Tune in as we kick off the championship entertainment with the musical mixes by DJ Kevin, DJ Xavier, and DJ Roderick Howell, alongside me, your host, Pereske. Come party with us in studio or show off your small vodka mixes in our Zoom VIP watches area. Tune in live on Fame 95 FM, Kids 92 FM, and RETV. Online at One Spot Media and on Mixcloud at Fame Frequency. So, rep your sport, rep your team. This Saturday inside the ultimate Fame Frequency Jersey Party. Powered by Smirnoff Vodka, the world's #1 vodka. You must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink and party responsibly. See you there. Give me freedom.
and there's no telling who let it be. For the loser now will be later to win. For the times they are a change. Come senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. What's on your mind this afternoon? The lines are open, 876-922-4112, 876-922-4113, 876-922-4114, and 876-922-4115. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. Good afternoon to Valerie Thompson. We wish for you the same as well. She says, have a blessed afternoon. Same to you, Valerie Thompson. Hermin Bowie Bailey says, hello, Mr. Malcolm. Blessings always. Hail up Raskava. It's his birthday. He would say his Earth Strong. Well, happy Earth Strong to Raskava. Sophia Nemard, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Audrey Smith says, good afternoon, Dervan and listeners everywhere. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. All the best to you and all the other Jamaicans and friends of Jamaica in Southampton in England. Audrey Smith. Ricardo in Glengough, St. Catherine. Good afternoon. Norman Hines in St. Thomas. Welcome. Jacqueline Simmons. Good afternoon. Blessings to you too. Rosemary Booth says, good afternoon from, I think she means rainy South Florida. This is a typo. Must be rainy South Florida. Stay dry, Rosemary Booth, and everybody else in rainy South Florida. Good afternoon to Errol in New Jersey. He says, good afternoon to Dervan and have a blessed one. Same to you, Errol. Donovan Campbell says, good day, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. Thank God for another day. Good day to you too, Donovan Campbell. Karine Campbell says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm, viewers and listeners. Thank God for life. Asha Ash says, hi, good afternoon, Dervan. Just tuning in from London, England. Have a good day. Thank you very much. Asha Ash, always good to have you on board. Both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. And Rosemary Booth confirms that it is indeed a rainy day in South Florida. Stay dry, South Floridians. All right, let's go to our text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. How you doing?
Good afternoon. I'm fine. Thanks. How are you?
Fine so far. Okay, I want to ask you a few questions. Now, the first one is, I was a lawyer in Jamaica who was, let's say, Queen's Council. Now the Queen is gone.
Hold on. Come again. Not hearing you clearly. Say that again.
There's a lawyer in Jamaica. I heard that is Queen's Council.
What about Queen's Council? The line is not so clear.
Yeah. Hear me better now?
A little better.
Okay, so now that the Queen is gone and the King take over, what they have to do? Recertify?
What who has to do? Hello? No, you're definitely on a bad line this afternoon. Sorry about that. Please try again. 876-922-4112-5. Those are the numbers to call. 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number. 876-365-3346. A couple of leftover messages from yesterday. Good afternoon, teacher Natalie Kennedy from Porus. You seem to forget my name. I always tune in. Welcome, Natalie Kennedy. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. Let's try the caller on the line again, coming in from Florida. Looks like it's taking a while to connect. The internet. It has something to do with the weather conditions. Sometimes it's the weather. Like it's raining heavily in South Florida, no? That has implications for internet connection, believe it or not. Let's try again. Hello, good afternoon. Reconnecting. All right, looks like it's going to be one of those afternoons as far as this particular caller is concerned. Thank you very much, Natalie Kennedy, for tuning in. All the very best. Let's see who else has been messaging us. And we still have quite a bit to clear in terms of messages. Hi, Dervan. This is Calvin Lake in Mobay. During the 1960s and 1970s, under the British system, I went to all-boys school, then later intermingled with girls when I entered secondary high school. It was mandatory to wear khaki pants, tie, white or brown shirt, and tennis shoes. Girls had to wear appropriate uniform, long dress. We must arrive at school at 9 a.m. or get flogged. That was the GCE O-level and A-level era. The discipline code was so enforced and instilled. Today, I stuck with the mindset of a court and the culture. So not everything was bad by the former colonizers. I support proper dress code, says Calvin Lake. Thank you very much for your message, Calvin Lake. Horace, otherwise known as Spider, says, good afternoon. I sent a voicemail to you guys on WhatsApp from the 16th of July about people who are stealing from the farmers and some of the ways how we could solve the problem. When I hear the news telling me what Mr. Fulton saying, almost word for word, I said to myself, this man is saying the same thing that I'm saying. That's not unusual. It's human nature. G-Mac in the Cayman Islands says, good afternoon, Dervan. I don't know why we get caught up with how kids dress. If we do a comparison with Jamaica and many first world countries, we will find that we constantly majoring in the minor. Many of our teachers leave Jamaica to many of these first world countries, and they have to adopt. They can't foist their opinions, no indoctrination in the way they have in Jamaica. there's no magic or any mystic to it, GMAC. If you're talking about an educational institution, you're going to have to deal with some kind of rules, protocols, systems, procedures, processes. It's just a fact of life. Just as how we have laws that govern a country, or laws that govern a business or the business sector, the financial sector, it's, remember what we always say on this program: man must be protected from himself. And we're using man in the generic way, which means woman as well. Man must be protected from himself. Left to himself, man is perhaps the most destructive creature on the face of the planet. And so we must protect man from himself. Who is going to be doing that? Man himself. So man must protect man from himself. It's just a fact of life. So we just need to settle down. And it's, as we have been saying, it's a battle for what is reasonable, what is considered reasonable, whether in a court of law or in the court of public opinion. What is reasonable? That's where the debate revolves around what is reasonable. No well-thinking, well-meaning individual in the history of education, or who has any interest at all in education, whether by virtue of sending their children to school or otherwise, no well-thinking human being would not understand the importance of having structure. And it's not just at school, at home, there really is supposed to be a structure as well. Because remember, we're raising children. Very important. And however we relate to them will leave a lasting mark for the rest of their lives. So we can either make them or break them by virtue of what we do or fail to do. Let's be mindful of these things. And therefore, whose message are we responding to again? Oh, GMAC in the Cayman Islands. It just needs, and it seems ministries, successive ministers of education have tread cautiously around it for whatever reason, and prefer if the individual educational institution deals with it. Because there's a general understanding of what is acceptable behavior and what is unacceptable behavior. There's a general understanding. Anybody with common sense understands that. General understanding about what is acceptable behavior and what is unacceptable behavior. But remember, once you put on that school uniform, no matter how much money your parents or guardians paid for it, it is a symbol of the institution that you attend. It's a symbol of the institution that you represent. And who wants to engage in shoddy representation? Who wants to represent their school as a shoddy place, as a disgusting place, as a terrible place? Who wants to do that? Your behavior and your mode of dress will tell us who you are and what kind of institution you attend. Straight up. That's what it boils down to. And so an institution must protect and guard jealously its reputation. Now as far as the other elements are concerned that people are taken up with, those can only be changed or amended or addressed and should be changed within the parameters of the particular institution. Parents, teachers, students, anything that needs to be changed, or any suggestions coming forward from those meetings, that's the proper place to deal with it. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
Monkeypox is in Jamaica. If you are experiencing fever, intense headache, muscle aches, and/or rash on the skin, you must isolate immediately and call ahead to your health center or doctor before visiting. All members of the public should wear a mask, frequently wash hands, and practice physical distancing. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Tune in to Farm Talk every second and third Tuesday of each month at 6:18 a.m. for the feature High Pro Food Independence. High Pro Food Independence will focus on solutions for farmers, such as land, animal husbandry, agronomy, and more. That's High Pro Food Independence every second and third Tuesday from 6:18 to 6:30 a.m. during Farm Talk, only on Power 106 FM. High Pro Food Independence is sponsored by High Pro.
Your old road is rapidly aging. Please get out of the new one if you can't lend your hand, for the times they are a-changing. The right is wrong, the curse is past, the slow one now will lead. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Thank you very much for your message, GMAC in the Cayman Islands. The matter just needs to be settled. That's it. Settle it. And we get on with the business of education. So all the people who are jumping up and down and just taking advantage of a situation. All right. Nothing more to see. That's it. Show is over. Time to go home or go back to work. Let's see. Let's see. Going up the line here, clearing the messages and making our way towards the ones that are relevant to the program right now. Let's see. Coming down. Let's go here. And it's a lot to clear. It is a lot. Bear with us. Right. So what is this one saying now? Look how we have it plentiful and not making the best of it. What is that now? What do we have plentiful? Not seeing the rest of that message. Good afternoon to Garfield, Gary G. McCook. Gary G. I think in America they say Gary. Like my brother is Gary. But some people say Gary. Today, James in East London has sent us the usual collection of stories coming out of the United Kingdom. Meghan and Harry won't be back in royal fold after Queen's funeral, says expert. And what else is there? It comes as the EU has announced they will impose a windfall tax electricity producing companies that are making extraordinary profits thanks to the war in Ukraine and climate change. Woman beat neighbors bloody in fierce and unprovoked attack is another story coming out of the UK. The Queen's funeral and lying in state is presenting the Met Police with the biggest security operation they have ever faced. Huge crowds are expected to descend on London to pay their respects to the Queen. A host of world leaders and royalty will also attend the funeral on Monday. Possession of the Class B drug. Which story is this? Drug users warned they could lose passport and driver's license. Passport and driver's license. Let me see. Where does the story actually start? Possession of the of what is described as Class B drug has increased over recent years, and possession of cannabis has soared in the West Midlands over the last few years as the government considers tougher penalties that could see recreational drug users lose their passports and driving licenses. They say driving licenses in the UK. Here in Jamaica and elsewhere, we say driver's licenses. King Charles could dismiss archaic royal rules as he strives for modern monarchy, is another story coming out of the UK. Sarah Ferguson missing from Queen's lying in state as ex-Prince Andrew attends alone. Disgust as vandals destroy Queen's memorial flowers left by scores of residents in park. A guard protecting the Queen's coffin on a podium in Westminster Hall was filmed suddenly fainting and collapsing to the ground before two police officers go to his aid. I always wonder about that. I'm always so concerned when I see the soldiers and or police on parade and having to stand in the sun or to be standing for an extended period. It's like the police themselves on the streets in the traffic environment, and one wonders how do they manage in the event they receive a call from nature. But it's about, I would imagine, you take care of certain business before you leave home. That usually makes a difference. And you make sure you don't have too much water in your system, perhaps, or too much liquid in your system. Because then at some point, your body will tug at you and say, hey, time to get rid of some of that water or liquid. Thank you for the message. And this one says, hi, Mr. Malcolm. Chanel here from McCook's Pen. There's gold mining going on in Bella's Gate, St. Catherine. What benefits the community in Bella's Gate will receive now that they have found gold and copper in the area? Thank you, sir, for your views on it. Yes, I did see the Gleaner story, and it reminds me of when that discovery was made in Clarendon, was it Northern Clarendon? Where in Clarendon was this again? And a company was formed, Ozjam, Australia, Jamaica, Ozjam, a mining company, and they did get some gold out of there in some commercial quantities. So let's see what we find and how sustainable that such an operation will be. But of course, naturally, the hope, I think this listener is suggesting, is that the people of the community will benefit. That is the hope, that it will impact the community in a positive way. Let's see what happens. Thank you very much for the message. 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon to Sharon Richards in Savannah Lamar, Westmoreland. She says, a pleasant afternoon, Sir Malcolm and all listeners out there. One love. To you too, Sharon Richards. Valerie Rochester in Atlanta, Georgia. Good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for tuning in. Always good to see you online. Elton, what is Elton saying here? Elton Gordon says, good evening, Dervan. Good afternoon. You're doing an excellent job, says Elton. You're very kind, Elton. Thank you very much. Virus Darby says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. It's a beautiful day in Yala, St. Thomas. It's my birthday and I'm smiling. Well, happy birthday to you, Virus Darby. Happy birthday to you. And may you continue to have a beautiful day in Yala, St. Thomas. A happy birthday and one full of smiles. Thank you very much. 876-922-4112-5. The numbers to call, 876-922-4112-5. Damian Pollock says, hail up, Mr. Malcolm. One love. One love to you too. Thank you very much for making it both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. The Gleaner is reporting that there's a $175 million upgrade for the Froome police station in Westmoreland. Sad story of a body of a newborn being discovered in the Rio Cobre. That's most unfortunate. Mexico arrests 3 soldiers for ties to missing students case. 2 companies in the corporate area fined for tax breaches. Cocoa Piece murderer charged over alleged lockup altercation with cops. Police in Haiti blame gang for killing of 3 cops. And Barbados explains its aviation taxes amid warning about high fees in the Caribbean. Those are some of the stories trending on the Jamaica-Gleaner.com website. And let's see who else is coming in on the lines, the various platforms. Let's go to Sean on WhatsApp. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Uncle Dervan.
Good afternoon.
Let I tell you what is on my mind right now? 2 very important issues. Who would sleep with windows open? I will never do something like that. You know, that is nonsense, Uncle. I will never do that.
Well, there are people who believed it when it was announced that that would really happen. Apparently.
I don't believe it at all. That is nonsense. Say, for instance, if somebody do that in the night, a thief can jump through them window and come into their bedroom and steal their stuff. They have to be really careful. They must not leave it open because they don't know who is who.
Yes.
That is true. And a man cannot jump through them window and come into their bedroom at night. A person cannot come with a knife and stab them behind their back when they are sleeping. They have to be very careful because they don't know who is not. Everybody they can be trusted. Them can be trusted.
Yes.
People and bad man and God, they don't know who is who because the crime and violence in this country won't at any time soon. That's why when people are going on the road, that's why they must keep grills and their windows and doors closed because they don't know who is who. They have to be really careful. You believe that people must put CCTV cameras in their home?
People are free to take whatever action they feel necessary for their safety and that of their family.
Yes, I believe so. They must take action against the thieves and the murderers and the rapers. Yes. I have another subject to talk about. Uncle Dervan, do you believe that some police officers supposed to be blamed? Because the reason why I say that, because the last time when I did listen to your program, a man did call in and said a policeman did shoot a naked woman into her bathroom.
I'm sorry, I never heard that.
The last it was Wednesday, April 13 when I listened to your program.
I don't remember that.
Okay. So it is, Uncle. It's not all the time you're going to remember things. It's the nature of life.
So it is.
Yes. Uncle, me and you guys will always have short conversations. The reason why I don't like long conversations on the phone because I'm not a talkative person and a people's person. I'm not that kind of guy.
One moment, please. One moment, please.
You're listening to Pearl 106 FM. The time is now
3 o'clock.
Farmers, come for a candid conversation with the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, the Honorable Colonel Charles Jr. Learn more about the agricultural sector and the role we all play with its development. That's a morning with the Minister. Every second and fourth Friday of every month during Farm Talk with Alfie McKenzie. Right here on Power 106 FM.
On a Tuesday. Well, this one was from Tuesday. And I like to call it your legal corner case study read.
All right.
I mean, but you can do what you need to do.
All right, no problem.
Right?
Okay.
So yeah, that's the topic for today.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Yes, Sean, go ahead.
Yes, I'm gonna go later on. I will talk to you another time. As I just said to you a while ago, I don't like to have long conversations. I love to have short talks.
All right, take care. Thanks for the call. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Faye Weller says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. Keep up the amazing work. Blessings. Blessings to you too, Faye Weller. Thank you. And let's go now to another bit of information that we have always like to check in with some of the happenings down the years, just to remind ourselves that in so many ways, the more things change, the more they remain the same. 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Honorable.
Yes, I hear you plan to change your name because Lloyd is an English name.
Well, when time we reach home on the continent, we'll get back our African name, you know? So we don't worry about that, you know?
But people have done that before. They don't wait until they go back to Africa to do that.
We are waiting until we reach home, back to our father and our mother, you know?
Right. And we have a listener who insists that you both went to school.
My ask him on my first name.
And
no one don't know me as Lyde, you know.
yeah.
That is my middle name.
Yeah.
But none of whom the guy schooled in Jamaica here could know that name. So make him tell you what my name.
Yeah, because he said some Manchanil doesn't mean anything to you.
In
Manchanil in Portland.
Tell them that them can be charged with public mischief.
All right.
And they must do what.
So you would be prepared to take them to His Majesty's court?
No, I said. So I know them is my black brother and sister. That's why I won't carry them, you know?
Yes.
Guard them up, you know, to make public mischief.
Right.
You know?
I'll read the story, the message with you on the line now. It says, this is dated the 7th of September. Good evening, Sir Malcolm. Ras Lloyd, born in England. His mother and father went to England on the Windrush and lived there for years, then came back to Kensington in Portland, where we both attended Mansionil All Age School. So Ras Lloyd is an English born.
That is a propaganda.
Okay.
You know? And differently, if you're born in England or anywhere you want born in the Americas, yeah, or in Britain, and as long as you're a black man, you know, you're an African, you know, you couldn't hide from your identity, you know. So them not say nothing still. I was born here in Portland, Buff Bay, you know.
Oh, so you were. It's Portland.
Buff Bay.
Oh.
Hospital, 1962, on a Sunday, 10 o'clock. So them don't know nothing, you know, as far as you know, massive.
But they got the parish right, though. They got Portland right.
Man, enough, he don't know my name, man, because as me tell you, I'm a middle name I use for the program, so he don't know me. So it's a good thing to use that name. What a judgment. Come to me, honorable brethren and system in this tradition. When they hear my voice, them know who's speaking. You understand?
Oh, I hear you.
A rumor, you know, malicious rumor. And what I'm talking about right now, because I know people can have the same name too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so what I talk about I know, me hear King Charles III, you know, a glorified, you know, dear constitutional monarchy system of government. You know, I talk of student constitution, so them style it, you know, our constitutional monarchy system of government and the Commonwealth rule, you know, because them is the sovereign of the Commonwealth and the sovereign also of a constitutional monarchy system of government. So where is the black man government? Where is our government as a black nation of people?
You tell us.
Government that you know vote for. You vote?
Tell us, where is the black man's kingdom?
Ask your question first.
No, man. I ask you the question.
All right. You know what answer? Me answer you. Because I saw my name answer. So the black man kingdom is the imperial lion of Judah, black royal dynasty from creation. Me now no Bible, you know. From David, come right down to Solomon, you know. Come up to his majesty, you know. That is our kingdom, you know, a glorious kingdom, you know. The Ethiopia world. A royal, sovereign, nation-world kingdom, not commonwealth, you know. As Charles boast about, you know, dear commonwealth, you know. So I and as black people in Jamaica and the world need to find redemption. Go find your redemption. You know, black man and black woman, you know. On the continent of Africa, you know. Instead of we stay in the white man country, Britain and the Americas here like Jamaica, you know, see, and I defend Jamaica, you know, as Prince King Charles would have said them oversee territories in this judgment here, you know. And that one, where is the black man government? Marcus
But tell us, where is it? Where is it? You tell us.
The only kingdom of God is with us, black sons and daughters, you know. The kingdom of God is with us. The kingdom of Ethiopia is with us, black people. We stand up and speak as free beings, you know. Stand up and bless the Lord, ye people of his choice, you know. Stand up and bless the Lord with heart and soul and voice, and own what is ours, you know, and stop hold on to this constitutional monarchy system of government and commonwealth, King Charles and them generation and them successor, you know. So we must know what we want. If we want to be the labor force to some people and not to ourselves, you know. And I'd love to address Ras Carver. I want him to know that the best people, because every time I come here and come back with him, opposition spirit. Who I call parasite, and could not call Rastafari parasite are the labor force in this country. As some of the finest people them take out to Africa. People of all manner of workmanship and carry come build the Americas and Britain. You know? We leave our home and family in Africa and the continent when they take we out. You know? So I don't know what I talk about to go home back like parasite from home. You know? Out of that, and he must dress up in my Jamaica Rasta. Because Jamaica have some Rasta with them, 15 group of Rasta rise in this country and the government then said catch 14 of them, Didn't pay them off for the year. And one of them, anyone who take money from the government can't let you when repatriation. So Rasta better know that in this judgment.
So what's wrong with being a Jamaican Rasta?
What you say?
What's wrong with being a Jamaican Rasta? We have Rastafarians now all over the world. Everybody wants to be a Rasta.
All right. Here, Mr. Rasta sell out themselves in this judgment. We are Ethiopian royal sons and daughters, African sons and daughters, That is the foundation of us, You see the understanding. So when Rasta attack, you must know what I talk about. Jamaica Rasta who serve in a Queen Elizabeth government. All of them work for the government here in Jamaica and send Pitney Garden institution. You see it? Them slave holdings, slave institution, the church, the school, and the business, classified as slave holdings. So the whole of them there who vote for PMP and Labour, as Mayor Marlene Malawu, what they say, Buster Manty and Manley, two white men, they sell you out. Make it hard.
Marlene Malawu Ford said that?
Yeah, man.
Said white man sell we out? That sounds rather uncharacteristic of her.
He said Buster Manty and Manley, make it hard for them go Republic. The constitution where them get from Britain. Because them carry back under this constitutional monarchy.
Yeah, but she has essentially said the process has started, the process towards republicanism.
So republicanism under Commonwealth rule, the horse and the chariot still fall in a dead place. Because the sovereign of the Commonwealth are republic country that are on the Commonwealth block is King Charles III in this judgment. We don't jump out a frying pan and jump in a fire.
Where does that leave you, though? If some of us are in frying pan and the others of us in the fire, where are you?
Oh, I'm in the Ethiopia world. Most time. Yes, so differently, and I serious note, Raskava.
Yes.
I'm a Jamaica Rasta, because every time we talk and call about Africa, there's a generation of them, want to discourage people, demonize Africa from returning home to a kingdom, a continent of our own, Charles said Jamaica or the West Indies are them overseas territory that is ruled by them system of government, a constitutional monarchy and commonwealth. We're proud of Charles. All of the black people is up in America and in Jamaica, you chat up in the mouth in this judgment. We're not proud of no king. We're no new king. Charles.
But all this time, I didn't expect to hear from you today. I thought you had booked your ticket already, or your ticket was booked for you to go to London.
To London? You still the propaganda thing. Book my ticket to go to London, what?
Right, to use the occasion to pay your respects and then to go on to put your petition to the king himself. I thought you had such a position that you would be able to have audience with the king.
He said, nearer my God to thee, nearer to thee. So him have a King Charles have a cabinet here in Jamaica. Them overseas territories, headed by Prime Minister Andrew Holness and in loyal opposition Mark Golding, and a Governor General who represents him on the island, to perform him work, and the Prime Minister have a weekly audience with the Governor General here on the island, So make we deal with our affair and let out this constitutional monarchy system of government and commonwealth.
All right, so where are we going to start? If we're going to deal with it, where are we going to start?
This is the starting.
What's the starting?
One another return to the strength and pride of an African sovereignty and spiritual education. Because we have everything we want already now. Africa, with all its natural wealth and resources, is I black sons and daughters, born and unborn. The man send us amongst them. So we don't learn nothing. In them send us amongst them to learn of their ways.
Sorry, I said James in East London asking you if you have a passport.
No, we never come down upon no visa and no passport, you know. Lightning, car passport. Car passport is in a Queen Elizabeth name, you know. So without peer approval, they can't live out our country, you know.
I see what you mean.
You see, they don't know that, you know. You go busy in the white men affair and watch, study, learn of their self, their black self, and their culture, you know. You see the understanding. So we want to be proud of King Charles III. We're proud, all of you call yourself Jamaican, to no born here, and deny no Africanness.
What would be the source of such pride?
What you say?
What would be the source of such pride of which you speak? One moment, please.
106 FM. The time is now
3:15. Treat yourself to famous Jamaican jerk dishes at Sweetwood Jerk Joint. Succulent pork, chicken served with mouth-watering side orders. Sweetwood Jerk Joint, open every day. Call 876-906-4851.
Oh, you mean no? I have just one more to do.
Kingston, in a secured environment, across from Emancipation Park. All COVID-19 protocols observed. Sweetwood Jerk Joint, the home of Jamaican jerk.
If you can't lend your hand, for the times they are a
Yes, Ras Lloyd.
As I was saying.
Yes, what would be the source of such pride of which you speak?
Yes, the philosophy of the honorable black philosopher Marcus Garvey and Rastafari, you know, to find the strength and pride of an African sovereignty. Them lay the foundation already, you know. So I have to know, I live these independent African banner, you know, world banner, you know, the red, black, and green, and the red, gold, and green banner, you know. And we are standing in the liberty where our Father make free. Standing in the liberty where Christ make free. Standing on the promises of God of a redeemed Africa, you know, a black world government nationwide for all of us as sons and daughters, and Lego the United Kingdom, you know, an organization of American state. You know, see, that is not us, you know.
So where is your support going to come from, Ras Lloyd? Where are you going to get support to mobilize people, to get people to understand, to appreciate, and to act? Where are you going to get that from?
So we need to look in ourselves. I'm saying the black man is not dead now, the black woman, they are only sleeping. So I would say to you, I rose from on sleep, on so stubborn and rebellious in this judgment, on the slumber. You know, I wake from on sleep and on slumber. And stand up, and bless the Lord. You know, you people of this side. You are a special people, you know. Don't you know that Dervan, the first civilization, the father and mother of mankind?
Durban is a city in South Africa, isn't it?
Dervan?
Durban. That's what you keep calling me. Durban. That's a place in South Africa.
At least you understand. Oh, in South Africa?
Yes.
Wow. So where your name, you get your spelling a name from?
Dervan.
So what is the origin of that your name there? The white man name same way.
But you can't say anything, Ras Lloyd, because your name is Lloyd. That's not an African name. Come on now.
How many years of burning?
Come on now.
All right, do not deny that, because then do the slave master name down here. That's why we want to go.
But you have long been free to shed the name. Yes, you are free. You are free to change the name. You're free to do a deed poll like Sir Alexander Bustamante.
All right, we not follow them. They know we ancestors. We shall have a new name in that land. In that land that sunny. Land of the sunburn faces, man. We shall have a new name on the continent. You know,
I think you need to go to the RGD, the Registrar General's Department. If you're serious about your Africanness, you have to go to the RGD and change your name.
No, we don't want to go to RGD. No, you can't send it to system of institutional system. You know, slavery system here in Jamaica.
But that's the only entity in Jamaica which allows you to change your name.
Oh, that's why we don't want to change to near here on the island.
You're happy with Lloyd then? You're happy with people calling you Lloyd?
No, we don't happy. We don't happy.
Because that's an English name.
But so we are still in slavery.
No, you're not still in slavery. You're free to go to the Registrar General's Department, RGD, and change your name.
All right. Define institutional slavery system to your audience. What is institutional slave holding? The church and the school and the business.
You are free to change your name. There is nothing to prevent you from changing your name from Lloyd to Kwaku.
Oh, so I say when I go to Africa, we will get that name. We don't want to change our name now in Jamaica.
Why? What difference does it make?
At the redemption of Africa, we will get our name because we're going home to our family. Because we live with family, you know. So our family will be coming to meet us, you know.
Who are the members of your family who are in on the continent of Africa now?
All black sons and daughters.
Oh.
Born and unborn is our family. We are one black royal sovereign nation, well kingdom of people. The black royalties. The man, we are the two royalties of the earth. And what makes us to be royal is because we bring all nations. And none cannot bring us. The Chinaman can't bring it, the white man can't bring it, the coolie can't bring it. That's why they hate you, so, you know. And we have to bring our black tails, you know. So we are very special, you know.
But you have been really recalcitrant though. It's been so long and no movement. That's where I'm at now, Ras Lloyd. No movement, just a lot of talk.
The movement is here.
Huh?
The Lord said the word and great is the company of I and I that publish it. So we are here, you know, building a solid foundation, you know, encouraging in our black brother. Because the man says many come and beat Africa out of us, you know. Until we say Africa no woman, Africa no one.
So you have given your children English names as well?
Me get my children one name, listen me carefully.
Yes.
One name Jerusalem. The princess named Jerusalem.
Yes.
My son named Salem. And the same name, you know.
Yeah.
The blood of Jerusalem is Salem.
I see.
And Princess Zion and Princess Zionai. What you say about
But look at that now. You are able to do that for the children. Why not for yourself? So they have African names or African related or culturally related names, but you still have the English name. You are Lloyd.
I'm an honorable priest after the order of Melchizedek.
Who appointed you?
The right honorable first recipient to receive the insignia golden medallion.
That sounds like Emperor Haile Selassie I.
No, man, listen me carefully.
No? Okay.
The first recipient, the Lion of Judah, golden medallion insignia.
Yes.
From Emperor Selassie when he come here 66 as King's House.
Yes.
Charles Edward. He was the first recipient. He's the governor of the nation. Do you know what an insignia means? The one like where you hear them attack the Queen, the Governor General, symbol of authority to govern in a fair state. Well, His Majesty leave that amongst us as a people, you know?
Yes.
So let's return unto the Imperial Lion of Judah, you know, Black Royal Dynasty, Kingdom, World Government, you know? And it is amongst us as a people. So the man is depending on us, you know, because when he come here to Jamaica, he say, man, that African redemption power when come here come see, the man say, and him arrival in Jamaica, him see more than him expected. The man say, oh, behold, what love, what manner of love. He must be stored upon us. You know, and the last people who come down here and slave for much 10 years. That we should be called the sons and daughters of God. Him say, no longer far from him, but now his precious blood, made nigh, accepted in the well-beloved, and near to God that we lie. That's why I'm giving Chasamaliland, you know, as a prime example, the word Chasamami means near to God.
But you have never been there. How come? How come you have never been?
Yeah, because the time we want to heal him in the time appointed. You know, because this Jamaica government, Queen Elizabeth and Charles government sabotage the move by holding the people under this government, this system of government, PNP and Labour, divide and rule, and tear us apart. The guide and rule can only tear us apart. You say you love the man that's up.
Which man?
You're Bob.
Huh?
The guide and rule can only tear us apart, you know?
Oh, you're not a fan of Bob Marley?
No.
Why not?
I'm a fan of every word of right, you know? Because the man say, man of right is God in flesh and men of wrong is Satan. You know? So all words of right is God, you know? So we glorify all words of right in all people, most high. That's the
Jah, Rastafari, how excellent is thy name. Thou hast set the glory above the heavens.
Mind yourself, you know. I know you can't talk certain things on the radio, you know.
What do you mean? I just did.
At the Queen radio station in Jamaica broadcast.
No, please. The Queen is resting. The Queen is resting.
Oh, you want to use the new name? Mm-hmm. King Charles. King Charles III. What a judgment.
Or Prince Lloyd. Prince Lloyd. How about Prince Lloyd?
I'm not a prince. I'm an honorable priest. The highest title that a man can get in the earth, you know?
What? What is that? Honorable priest?
Yeah, after the order of Melchizedek, you know?
Okay.
Our father is the king of kings, you know?
I see.
And we are the sons and daughters of him, black sons and daughters of him, so we must be honorable people. And we are the first people.
Right.
So honorable. And Uncle Elizabeth, who serve in Elizabeth government, you know? Some of them was breadfruit, a black puppet, honorable, you know? But I is the first honorable. Black sons and daughters, you know? A people who bring civilization.
Yeah, but your honorable doesn't come with any power. You can't do like the others who have the title honorable. Make things happen.
Make what them make happen. Carry no back in a slavery. Carry no back in a slavery. You know, I'm going 60 more years.
Speak for yourself. You're one of us.
No, I'm not a Jamaican. I'm not
really?
I'm an African. I used to.
You were born at Buff Bay Hospital in Portland. What are you talking about?
Of course.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't deny that. So the man said the place where you're born is better than where you're born through slavery. You know, because you could have born anywhere, you know.
Oh.
But we'd have heard somewhere, you know. We'd have to originate from somewhere before we come here, you know.
I see what you mean.
On the ship, you know.
So
make us hold on to our true national.
In this judgment.
Judgment time, you know.
There's a song for that, you know. I'm also judgment time.
Judgment time, you know. So make we turn, you know, because the man say, judgment shall return unto righteousness. You know, so to win a judgment, you know, under a slavery system of government. You know, see it make we turn unto the right of ourselves as a people, you know. Mm-hmm. You know, a black sovereign nation will kingdom. A yes. People, the first people, a black family. Mm-hmm. You know, make we turn to ourselves, you know.
Yes.
And we don't turn to Garvey and Rastafari philosophy. We do. That's the only thing we have amongst us, you know.
Marcus Garvey words come to pass. You know yes. that one?
Yes, man.
Mm-hmm.
So make Dervan. No Dervan.
You insist on calling me Dervan, eh? That's South Africa. That's in South Africa.
But make this youth, this Rastamania, you know? Enter in here, me call if you don't know nothing about Africa and the Mount Order, so they call black people parasites. And now we are the labor force in the world. When South Order, how will the white men take out Africa and build the Western world, Britain and America? Some to come call us parasites. Who is parasite?
I don't think he was referring to you as parasite, no, as a parasite.
No parasite can go back to Africa as a parasite for the people then. So we speaking.
So maybe it's a general warning to those who would want to just turn up on the continent and expect to be drinking milk and honey and all of that.
So a man, you take a man from him place, one shot from him back, and carry him at the Western world, come slave him, and you have conditions. Been going back in our own place, in our own house. You're out of the Rastava. You're out of the. You speak those words. You know, see, the man say, come and all his pardon, my son, long eternity is drawing nearer than indeed to hope the Africa world most high, the bright and morning star, you know, Jerusalem, the golden. It's milk and honey place. And there is a milk and honey place. You mean all the wealth and resources that is there. for us, you know.
Mhm.
So make we there at Jamaica, yeah, I fight over charged territory, you know, and American territory. No soon get a lick in on judgment, because we sell out Marcus Garvey, you know, send down to Africa, he come like a tan in our skin, like a maca. You know, I hear about Africa.
But you don't take any responsibility for what has happened, eh? You have washed your hands like Pontius Pilate.
Huh? Wash your hands up for what?
You haven't had any hand in anything that has happened.
Anything
Or
like-
not happened.
Like?
Like making sure that people can return to the continent of Africa. You haven't done anything to us.
Yeah, man.
Hmm?
Yeah, man.
Anyway, come back another time and tell us what you have done, because
My father do. Marcus
you've just been telling us the same thing over and over again. So come with something new the next time you call Ras Lloyd. Hopefully, when you call us the next time, I'll refer to you as Ras Conga or something like that, because then you would have changed it to an African name. All right, we have to go. We're on the break. Thank you for the call. Take care.
Protecting Jamaica's borders from illicit imports and exports is a key priority for the Jamaica Customs Agency. The JCA will remain vigilant and resolute in effectively fulfilling this mandate. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
3:30. We don't know about league, we in a World Cup. The party blazes on a higher level. This Saturday, rep your sports team and come blaze with us inside Fame Frequency Jersey Party, 9 p.m. to midnight. Tune in as we kick off the championship entertainment with the musical mixes by DJ Kevin, DJ Xavier, and DJ Roderick Howell, alongside me, your host, Pereske. Come party with us in studio or show off your Smirnoff vodka mixes in our Zoom VIP WhatsApp area. Tune in live on Fame 95 FM, Kids 92 FM, and RETV. Online at Wallspot Media and on Mixcloud at Fame Frequency. So, rep your sport, rep your team. This Saturday inside the ultimate Fame Frequency Jersey Party. Powered by Smirnoff Vodka, the world's #1 vodka. You must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink and party responsibly. See you there. Give me freedom.
Welcome to your legal corner on Power 106 FM, your source of information for all matters regarding U.S. immigration. Call in with your questions and concerns on 876-922-41125. You can send a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598. Time now for your legal corner during both sides of the story, right here on Power 106 FM.
Indeed, thank you so much for joining us on this week's edition of Your Legal Corner with attorney at law, U.S. immigration attorney, Delia Walker Huntington. Sorry, I missed you last week. I had other business to take care of, but it's good to be back with you this week. How are you?
I'm wonderful. Thank you so much. Jesse was an able substitute. He took care of me.
No surprises there. No surprises there. Wonderful. Well, let's get going. I noticed in the press this week, in the usual corner, immigration corner, there was the question that was raised: can I get U.S. citizenship from my father? Is that an unusual question or a common question, or it shouldn't be a question?
Unusual. We deal with time to time. The problem is that there are different ways that a person can acquire citizenship. So, and it can be complicated, and oftentimes because person A got it, you believe that you can also get it. But there are lots of nuances that have to really be looked at, and also to understand that citizenship, getting U.S. citizenship in any country is really a massive and generous gift to a person not born there. So the U.S. government, like any other country, puts you through some rigorous steps that you have to achieve. So in this particular case, I believe that we talk about foreign birth. So if you are an American citizen, say you, Dervan, are an American citizen, and you father a child, and that child is born outside of the United States, that child can acquire citizenship from you. It's not automatic because there are certain steps that need to have been met. So, for example, the father must have been a citizen at the time the child was born. The application has to be made before the child is 18. And importantly, there's a form that has to be completed to show how much time the father has spent physically in the US. So the father must have spent at least 5 years in America before the child was born. And 2 of those 5 years must be after the father was 14. So, we have to ask a lot of questions in order for that to happen. So if you have a child, and so when the child is 5, you become an American citizen, the child doesn't automatically get citizenship, and you can't register the child as being born, after the fact as having been born an American. So what you have to do in that case, if you become a citizen after your child is born, is you have to turn around and file for a green card for that child. Now, if the child gets the green card before they're 18, they can automatically become a citizen. If the child is going to come to America and live with you, and you have to show proof that the child is living with you. So, it's a lot of nuances, but it's a very worthwhile question to ask, because in fact, there may be many people listening to the program in Jamaica who are in fact American citizens and are not aware of it.
Thank you very much for that wealth of information, as usual, Delia Walker Huntington. Listeners, if you're just tuning in, the program is Your Legal Corner with immigration attorney Delia Walker Huntington. Any question at all that you have in relation to immigration as it relates to the United States of America, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922 4112 to 5. That's 876-922-4112 to 5. That's the number to call. You can also send us your text or WhatsApp messages. You can send those to 876-365-3346. If you have text or WhatsApp messages, please send them to 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Now, Miss Delia, I came across a couple of videos. You have videos that pop up all over the place when you're online. And someone was there, a female, saying to people, hey, looks like things are picking up at the embassy again. Your applications, first week in October, free up now, and so on and so forth. How is that information generally made public?
Well, I don't know if in fact they've opened appointments for October. They very well could have. When you apply for a visa, you automatically are assigned a date for an interview. But I believe you have 2 or 3 opportunities to change the date. So if time opens up before that, so we were talking about that appointment dates are actually in 2024.
Yes.
Up to a couple of weeks ago. So if you applied and you got a date in 2023 or 2024, and you want to see if something has opened up, you can check to see if there's an opening in advance. And pre-pandemic, sometimes you would get a date and you can't make that date, so you ask for a later date. But it's easy for anybody to check and not just go by hype. Again, so much in immigration, Dervan, that something happens to you. You do something, you file, this A happened, B happened, C happened, and I come along and I file, and you're telling me A, B, C happened to you. thinking ABC is going to happen to me, and it does not work that way. This is why U.S. immigration law is such a complicated area of law, second in complexity only to the Internal Revenue Code.
Whoa.
It's constantly changing. As immigration lawyers, we built for each other a great support system. So we join associations like the American Immigration Lawyers Association, that they are an advocacy group, but they also provide tremendous resources to their members because they know that immigration changes very quickly. We share through WhatsApp groups, we share through online support groups, and we share amongst ourselves. You know that I'm very close to Wayne Golding, who is also a colleague, practices. We share almost the same practice areas. Another attorney in Miami, Oliver Langstadt, who's also Jamaican. The three of us were individual attorneys. We don't have firms, but we support each other. Because we sometimes come upon novel cases that we've never seen before. And it's a matter of sitting down and tearing it out and coming up with an approach. And we'll call each other and say, this came across my desk. This is what I think of approaching it. And one of the three of us might say, well, you thought about this or about that one, or no, that's the same thing I would do. So we support each other because we're just like you would if you're in a large law firm. We're not in large law firms, but I'm saying that to say the area is so complicated and so coming up with nuances that we have to keep ourselves up to date on the law on a daily basis, literally on a daily basis. And if we fall behind for a day, we have to catch up. If I fall behind by Monday, I have to sit down and I have to catch up, because I guarantee you things that will happen over the next 3 days that I'm not going to be aware of. So it's important that people realize how complex U.S. immigration law is, and really not leave it to chance or leave it to somebody saying, well, I did this before, or somebody say, yes, man, I can help you to do that. Just today I spoke with somebody whose mother-in-law filed a form, thinking that they were doing something else when in fact they haven't even touched the surface.
Oh no.
And it happens. It happens so often. Often.
All right, here's a message, listeners. Let's remind you the program is Your Legal Corner with U.S. Immigration Attorney Dahlia Walker Huntington. She's fielding your questions, your calls, your messages. So listen up. The numbers once again, 876-922-4112 to 5. 876-922-4112 to 5. The text line has the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Here's a message, Miss Dahlia. Good day, Miss Dahlia and Dervan. My spouse, green card holder, files for me. I'm DQ. Is that disqualified? Or a typo. I'm DQ August 2022. Or maybe it's a typo. I don't know what that means. I'm DQ August 2022. Do you know the time frame when I will be called for interview? I work on the H-2B program. I'm concerned, should I get the call for this winter season to work? What should I do? I would not want to miss out on the work. Not sure if the interview is close by. Thanks much.
Okay, so DQ means documentarily qualified. This is the new phenomenon really brought about by the pandemic, where everything has been done, all of the paperwork, check, you're fine. Normally, without the backlog, you could know, especially in this category, whereas a green card holder filing for their spouse, that category is current. So what that meant, pandemic backlog, is as soon as everything, all the boxes are checked, everything is done, you would now be in queue and you'd be scheduled for an interview let's say your documentary qualified today on the 15th of September, you would get an interview probably in November because the October appointment dates would have already been scheduled. Now, because they're so backlogged, you get the notification that you're documentarily qualified, meaning everything is done, but now you have to wait for an appointment. And unfortunately, I cannot tell the listener when they would get an appointment. And also cannot say, don't go on the H2B program, because the H2B program is usually anywhere from 4 to 6 months. And that's a decision the person has to make with their spouse, is, do I risk not getting, not being able to appear for the appointment for the green card because I'm overseas working on the H2B program. So,
One moment, please, Miss Dahlia. Let's come back with more in just a moment. This is your Legal Corner with the U.S. Immigration Attorney Dahlia Walker Huntington. More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45.
You're listening to Your Legal Corner, your source of information on all matters regarding U.S. immigration. You can call in with your questions and concerns on 876-922-41125. You can send a text or WhatsApp message to 876-279-8598. Now, back to Your Legal Corner during both sides of the story on Power 106 FM.
Thank you very much for staying with us here on Your Legal Corner with U.S. Immigration Attorney Dahlia Walker Huntington here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Those of you watching on Facebook Live and YouTube, if you have questions as well, please feel free to call 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The text line, well, you can use the Power 106 FM text line, which is 876-279-8598, 876-279-8598, or the company cell phone that is assigned to me, the number for which we give out on a daily basis. That's 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. We had to take the break. I think you are still saying a bit more, Ms. Dahlia, in terms of, yes.
It's kind of a personal decision that the couple have to make about whether they want to look at the long term or the short term. The long term is you stay in Jamaica and wait for the appointment. And short term is you go off on the H2B if it's for the winter, and then keep your fingers crossed you don't get called in for the interview. If you get called for the interview and you're away, you can request a reschedule, but then when you request a reschedule, we can't tell you when that is going to be. So the couple really have a decision to make. You're almost at the end, so they got to talk about it and decide what they want to do.
Very good.
But I can't tell them it's, they're going to get an appointment in November or December. Can't do that.
Thank you very much. Here's a call coming through now for you, Ms. Dahlia. Thanks for calling Your Legal Corner with U.S. Immigration Attorney Dahlia Walker Huntington. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I just want to find out something. I don't know if Ms. Huntington can help me with this. I didn't into my daughter filed for me abroad to come to America, but I went to them do the interview in March, the 11th of March. But there was a document that was missing, and they asked me, they hold on to the passport and asked me to send in the document as quickly as possible. I did send in the document from the other week in March, and up to now I haven't heard from them. So I want to know if Ms. Huntington can help me in that.
Well, before you hire a lawyer, have you been sending requests to them for status, asking them what's going on?
Yes, but we're not getting anywhere. They gave me I don't remember.
Do you mind saying what kind of document they wanted?
The person that do the affidavit, they need the tax papers for that person.
Okay. So yeah, so that's a very long time. Something is definitely wrong. When we are hired to contact the embassy, we cannot guarantee that they'll even respond to us. I mean, I would say they have a duty out of respect to respond to an attorney because we file what's called a notice to appear, and sometimes we have to send them the request 2 and 3 times. So they're not always very responsive. Sometimes they are. It depends. That email address is manned by different people on any given day. So it depends on the responsiveness of the person who's manning it. And sometimes we have to resort to sending a certified letter to the head of the department in order to get some response. So if you certainly are way overdue with a response, if there's a problem, they should have let you know that this person doesn't qualify as a joint sponsor if the tax return is short the amount of income they should be earning. So you can call me off air, but again, I don't give any guarantees when it comes to contacting the embassy about a response because I'm not in control of how they respond to you. They're not always responsive.
We got a site case. I think it's case something like to check on your check what is happening to the visa. And we went on the site and all it said my case was updated on the 4th of April and I went in the 11th. That's all.
Right. So if it was updated with that document, then they should have made a decision. What that means is that they got the document, they updated it, and they should have made a decision. So, inquiries need to be made left, right, and center as to what's going on. Yeah. So really, ma'am, it's your choice if you want to hire an attorney, but I make it very clear. I don't like to overpromise and underdeliver, and the other way around. So I tell you up front, no guarantees that the embassy is going to respond to me. But you are way past due for a response, one way or the other. If it is that they need further documentation, then they need to come back and tell you. But having sat there for now over 6 months, it's really unjust. It's unjust. Yeah. Okay? All right.
Thank you.
All right, ma'am.
Thank you for the call. Let's move to another caller. This is your legal corner with U.S. immigration lawyer Delia Walker Huntington. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Yes, for a person, I've been to the United States. She was about 11 years old, and she overstayed, and now she's about 25. She has been to college and not sure study at high school. What is there any hope for her getting a legal job or any hope of her getting?
Did she enter the United States with her own passport and with her own visa?
Yes.
Okay, and she overstayed. I'm not sure about the dates, but did she apply for DACA?
She didn't.
Okay, so DACA is a program that was started under the Obama administration for persons such as this young lady who were taken to the U.S. as children and are now adults. So I'd have to look at some dates to see if she qualified to have filed for it. But under the circumstances, if she doesn't qualify for that program, or that program doesn't give a green card, it just gives you deferred action, meaning that she can't be deported if she qualifies. But outside of that, at age 25, she would have to fall in love and marry an American citizen in order to remain there in the U.S. at this point.
So it's one of two, you said. Take both the DACA and are married an American citizen.
Right. So if she qualified for the DACA, she would have known if she filed for it. She would have gotten some kind of document to say she filed for temporary relief. But again, that is not permanent residency. That's temporary relief. So, but if she entered with her own visa in her own passport, and she's overstayed, she is eligible for a change of status to a green card holder if she marries an American citizen.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're listening to Your Legal Corner with the U.S. immigration attorney Delia Walker Huntington. Both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Another caller for you, Miss Delia.
Yes.
Hi, good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm good, thank you.
Okay, my sister sent me a KNG number and an IVSCA number. What does these mean?
Okay, so that means your sister filed for you so many years ago. They are now ready to do the second phase of the processing. And you would need to go to a website. You should give them that to you, the CEOC website. You are now required to pay the visa fees associated with your filing and to proceed with what we call consular processing, meaning that your sister is going to have to do an affidavit of support, provide her proof of her employment or assets sufficient to show according to the guidelines that she can support you and your family if you're moving to America. And you also have to pay the fees for the visa and do visa application and supply what's called civil documents. So you're at the second phase of filing, and you need to address it because if they don't hear from you within a year, they will close the file.
Okay, can you remind me of that website?
It's a very funny website, but ask your sister to send you the documents that she got or the email. It's the first four letters are C as in Charlie, E Edward, A Adam, C Charlie, CEAC website to do the immigrant visa processing.
Okay, thank you very much.
But the email she would have received would have had a lot of instructions on there.
Okay, because I received from her a KNG and an IVSCA number.
Right. The KNG is your case number, and the IVSC is the invoice number.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, you're welcome.
You're listening to Your Legal Corner with U.S. immigration attorney Delia Walker Huntington. Looks like we might very well have to extend the program a bit. We have a backlog of calls, both online on the regular phone system and also on the text line on the phone assigned to me. That one is ringing incessantly. Let's go to the phone lines once again. Your Legal Corner with Delia Walker Huntington. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, hi Delia. Yes, I have a case here. My two sons have been reissued a case number. The married one has an invoice number along with the case number, but the unmarried one does not has an invoice number. I'm not sure what's happening.
Who filed for them?
I filed for them.
Okay. And are you a citizen or a green card holder?
A citizen.
Okay. So how long ago did you file? You filed for both of them at the same time?
Yeah, 2016.
Oh. So did the married one get married after you filed for him?
No, he has been married for many years.
Okay. So the married son should not be getting any documents before the unmarried one, because the married son is in the F3 preference category and they're processing paperwork in November 2009. and visas are available for those filed in November '08. So he's at least 8 years away from being ready. So what you need to look at these documents very carefully. You need to look at what you filed. It sounds like there is definitely a mix-up here, and they may have gotten their statuses reversed because there's no way the married son is supposed to be getting any documents. The unmarried son is in the F1 category, and they are processing paperwork filed in August 2016 with visas available for those in December 14. So it sounds to me like they've reversed the status of your two sons. So you need to check that very carefully and advise them, because your married son should in no way step forward and take what is not his time, because he will lose. If he does that, he will lose the green card once it's discovered.
We have to take a break now, Ms. Dahlia, naturally at the end, but with your indulgence, one moment, please. Let's see if we can just clear the other callers.
Okay, Dervan, I can take one more call after that, because unfortunately today I do have a commitment.
Oh, okay. All right. We'll allow that. No problem. One moment, please.
Okay.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock.
Indeed, 4 o'clock, and we're at the end of today's edition of Your Legal Corner with U.S. Immigration Attorney Dahlia Walker Huntington. Please stand by just a moment. I think we're going to take one more caller right now. What, Ms. Dahlia, were you through with what you were saying just before we had to take the 4 o'clock break?
Yes.
Right. So let's go to that. The caller who has been holding on the 365-3346 number. Hello, good afternoon. Go ahead, please, for Ms. Dahlia. Hello? We're not hearing you. Hold on. Hello? No, something is off there. Something is off. Hello? Hello? All right. Looks like we're going to have to... Sorry about that.
No problem.
We were hearing the person, but he was very, very low. Well, I'll just give you an opportunity to wrap then, Ms. Dahlia, since we're at the end.
Sure. And, invite all of the listeners and callers to join us next week. And if anyone wants to reach out to schedule a consultation in the U.S., it's 954-963-8555, 954-963-8555, or in Jamaica, it's 876-969-9666. That's 969-9666 to schedule a consultation. Dervan, it's been a pleasure today.
Same here.
Thank you so much.
Same here. You're welcome. Thank you too.
All right.
All the best. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Dahlia Walker Huntington, U.S. Immigration Attorney, rounding out today's edition of Your Legal Corner here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. I'm suspecting what has happened in terms of the audio for that caller, because let me see, something is loose here. Let's see what happens when we get another call on the text line, which doubles as the WhatsApp number. ¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:03. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 4:03. 现在几点了？4:03. 3 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, and taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Some messages to clear as well. Alvin Daly says, Brother Dervan, good afternoon. I think Lloyd is your therapist, man. You always have a good laugh when he calls. Sam German says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Listening from work, Russ Lloyd is something. LOL. He now has to refer to the King Charles government. Marl Fear says, hello, Dervan. Did you get the chance to ask Sir Lloyd about his citizenship? Yes, I did. Again, I did. And he has repeated, he essentially repeated what he said the last time he was on with us. So that's it there for Russ Lloyd. And let's clear some more on this side on the on Facebook Live. Cherry Henry, good afternoon to you. She's greeting everybody and our listeners as well. Thank you, Miss Cherry. Lisa Brown Campbell says, one thing is for sure, Lloyd knows how to keep us amused. Angela in Toronto, Canada is greeting everybody. Good afternoon, Angela. Sherry South Time says, hello, Mr. Malcolm. Hello, Sherry South Time. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. All the best. Inez Ayona Campbell, good afternoon to you as well. Thank you very much for making it both sides of the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5, the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. The Gleaner Online is telling us that London mourners brave 9-hour wait to say goodbye to the Queen. Yeah, it's one moment, please. Sorry. It's actually, I was a little previous. It's next Thursday. It's not this Thursday. Sorry about that. Thanks a lot for staying with us on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Yes, we were saying one of the stories trending now. London mourners brave 9-hour wait to say goodbye to Queen. Thousands of mourners waited for hours today in a line that stretched for nearly 4.5 miles across London for the chance to spend a few minutes filing past Queen Elizabeth II's coffin while she lies in state. Also, there's the story, this disturbing story of the body of that newborn discovered in the Rio Cobre. It's always sad when this is the outcome, as opposed to perhaps taking the baby to Father Holong and friends, or specific missionaries of the poor, and all the other organizations that exist to take care of these clearly unwanted children, which is sad. Very sad. So the story is that the St. Catherine North Police have launched an investigation into the circumstances surrounding the discovery of the body of a newborn floating in the Rio Cobre in the vicinity of Bucktown, St. Catherine, Wednesday afternoon. The body, said to be that of a female baby, was discovered about 1:30 p.m. and the St. Catherine Fire Brigade called. The newborn was fished from the river by a resident after members of the fire brigade were unable to retrieve the body. The police believe the body was thrown into the river elsewhere, my God, and floated to the location where it was discovered. Very disturbing story there. Oh dear. Let us try our best to take care of the children. Please, please. Tiny Beckles, welcome, Miss Tiny from Toronto, Canada. Good afternoon. Good to have you on board. Thank you very much for joining us here on today's edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, on Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Let's do let's scan the archives right now for some of the stories, just for us to look back at ourselves in a manner of speaking and remind ourselves that in so many cases, the more things change, the more they remain the same. Let's look back at the year 2020. According to the Gleaner, the front page story in 2020, front page of the Gleaner carried the headline, Ultimatum, Phillips given 30 days to quit, rejects PNP-YO Senate list. That was in 2020. In 2005, 12 killed in a day was the headline of the Gleaner. On this day in 2005, the heading of the actual story was 29 murdered since Saturday. Glenroy Sinclair and Claude Mills wrote that the month of September was shaping up to be one of the bloodiest on record, with 12 people killed in a 24-hour period. At least 29 people had been killed within that week. Bloody turf wars, reprisal killings, staggering poverty, spiraling inflation, brutal gangs who commit daily atrocities against a cowering, frightened populace. This was the portrait of a Jamaica which had become an incredibly dangerous country to live in. According to police records, someone is murdered in this country every 6 hours. And as the murder figures steamroll towards a record number this year, solutions are proving to be elusive. Let me quickly say, before people start tweeting this is from the archives, the Gleaners archives in 2005. What we just shared was what happened in Jamaica, as reported by the Gleaner on this day in 2005. Let's go down the line. Let's go back to 2004. Millions for relief. Private sector pledges support for recovery efforts. That was the headline on the front page of the Gleaner on this day in 2004. The story was that private sector leaders had pledged support for the Jamaica Hurricane Relief Fund, which had been established by the Patterson administration in the wake of Hurricane Ivan. The hurricane had left 19,000 people in shelters and billions of dollars in industrial and infrastructural damage. 2003, the Gleaner reported on this day in 2003 that September 22 was the likely new date for toll operations to begin on the 14-kilometer Old Harbour bypass, according to Kingsley Thomas, chairman of the National Road Operating and Construction Company, NROC. Mr. Thomas told the Gleaner that contractors were working to implement necessary requirements on the bypass by the 22nd of September, 2003. Still in 2003, RM shortage was the headline of the Gleaner's front page on this day in 2003. According to the story, the justice system was being severely hampered by an acute shortage of resident magistrates, and the Jamaican Bar Association, JBA, was encouraging lawyers who were qualified for the job to apply. A reason for the shortage was the fact that, for the first time in recent judicial history, there were a total of 7 resident magistrates acting on the High Court bench at the same time, in place of judges who had retired, who had died, or who were on vacation. At the time, there were 5 vacancies on the High Court bench, the latest occurring in July 2003 with the death of Justice Neville Clark. 2 judges were on vacation leave. Some of the posts had been vacant for more than a year. Did I hear Emily Crooks Shields? Well, she no longer uses the name Crooks. Emily Shields, our colleague, saying on the hotline today that it sounds like she'll be doing, or she has done, an interview with the Chief Justice, which will be aired on TVJ this evening at 8:30. I'll try not to go to bed that early so that I can watch and listen. So that is this evening. Let's take the break and come back.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15.
Que hora es en espagnol? Son las 4:15. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4h15. 现在 TDN 了4点15分. 15 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the schoolers listening to us, all the students from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Here's another blast from the past. Let's go to 2002. The headline on the front page of the Sunday Gleaner on this day in 2002 was Beyond Patterson Siaga. Beyond Patterson Siaga. According to the story, political observers were saying the outcome of the general election could well hinge on how well either of the major political parties handles the question of leadership succession within its ranks. They said the party which appeared best organized in this regard should have a decisive edge going into the election, especially since voters know they would be more than likely be seeing the last of Prime Minister P.J. Patterson and opposition leader Edward Siaga after more than 30 years of a bittersweet political rivalry. Prime Minister Patterson and Mr. Siaga had indicated that the 2002 election campaign might well have been their last. Also on this day in 2002, 1 man was shot dead and 7 others shot and injured during a mid-afternoon drive-by shooting on Wildman Street in downtown Kingston. The incident occurred a few hours after a pre-dawn joint police-military operation in the nearby McIntyre Villa area, in which the security forces seized 2 firearms and took 2 men into custody. You see how long we've been grappling with this crime situation, and this was just 2002. There's more before that. Now we're still grappling. 2001, the Gleaner also reported, that means there's something before. Let's go up top and see which other story made the news. 2001, the Gleaner reported on this day in 2001 that the United States Senate had approved US $40 billion in emergency aid to help victims and hunt down the perpetrators of the 9/11 terrorist attacks. It then gave its official consent for the president to use force against those responsible for the attacks. The 96-0 Senate vote on the spending measure came just hours before President George W. Bush, accompanied by a contingent of New York lawmakers, was to visit the site in New York where two hijacked jets rammed into the World Trade Center towers, destroying them. Another commandeered airliner was crashed into the Pentagon. Meanwhile, Afghanistan's ruling Taliban rulers warned of revenge if the United States attacked the hardline Islamic militia led by Osama bin Laden, the main suspect in the terrorist attacks on New York and Washington. Also in 2001, the Gleaner reported that terrified mourners had to run for their lives the previous night when heavily armed gunmen invaded a wake on Whitehall Avenue, St. Andrew, shooting 11 people, 3 of whom died on the spot. The wake was being held for Norvell Powell, a resident of the same avenue who was gunned down along Mannings Hill Road on September 3. You see how long badness are going on in this country and still going on? That was 2001. 2001. Let's go to 1999. The Gleaner reported on this day in 1999 that the amnesty, which was granted to delinquent National Water Commission NWC customers for the month of June, yielded $48 million in revenue, while bringing in more than 2,000 new customers. A total of 8,563 customers responded to the amnesty, Minister of Water Dr. Carl Blythe told reporters at a news conference in Kingston the previous day. 1998, heavy rains lashed the island on this day in 1998, flooding homes and roadways in the corporate area, Portmore, St. Catherine, and other low-lying areas. The Meteorological Service said the rains were due to a large area of cloudiness over Jamaica. The most intense area of rainfall was located over the eastern section of the island, and 76.2 millimeters of rainfall was recorded at the Norman Mann International Airport. A flash flood warning was put in effect for low-lying and flood-prone areas in Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas. The flash flood warning was later reduced to a severe weather alert. A number of schools were closed, and several employees did not turn up for work. That was 1998. Also in 1998, another story on the front page of the Gleaner was headlined, "Can Clinton Survive?" According to the story, Israeli President Benjamin Netanyahu called President Clinton a friend and predicted he would survive. German Chancellor Helmut Kohl hoped the United States' role in the world had not been compromised. Newspapers around the world devoted pages the previous day, September 13, 1998, to the crisis in Washington over lurid revelations about Clinton's extramarital sex life, including his encounters with former White House intern Monica Lewinsky. Also on the front page of the Gleaner in 1998, Prime Minister P.J. Patterson was quoted as saying the government, with its new mandate from the local government elections the previous week, was ready to intensify its drive to build better communities as well as the national economy. However, Mr. Patterson said neither the government nor the People's National Party, PNP, would become complacent as a result of the victory. He said the administration would be analyzing the relatively low voter turnout. There we go again. That's another area. Low voter turnout seems to be the norm. And this was 1998. And we're still experiencing low voter turnout. Normally, though, local government elections usually see low voter turnout. So that's not strange, but just an indication that it has been low, and in some instances, it has gotten lower. So he said the administration would be analyzing the relatively low voter turnout to better understand what the people were saying when they stayed away from the polls. The Prime Minister was speaking at a meeting of the party's National Executive Council, the last before the party's annual conference at the Hilton Kingston Hotel, Saturday, the 19th of September, 1998. In fact, it's this weekend, isn't it, that the People's National Party will be hosting its conference and other attendant events. Yep, it's this weekend. Let's see. So that was 1998. 1997, Elton John's Candle in the Wind sold more than 600,000 copies in its first day in British stores. At One Tower Records in London, 1,000 copies of the Princess Diana tribute were snatched up in less than 90 minutes. The single was released in the US on September 23 and hit number 1 October 11, which is a significant date in Jamaican history as well. October 11, 1865, when I was at Coburn Gardens All Age School, I had to read aloud that piece of history. I'm just trying to remember it. In a violent confrontation that led to many forces. And there was something about October 11, 1865, something. I think that was when the unrest started. Anyway, so that was 1997. 1984, Princess Diana and Prince Charles celebrated the birth of their second child, a blue-eyed baby boy who weighed 6 pounds 14 ounces. Prince Henry Charles Albert David, was third in line to succeed the British throne. That was 1984. 1978, boxer Muhammad Ali defeated Leon Spinks at the Louisiana Superdome in New Orleans to win the World Heavyweight Boxing title for the third time in his career, the first fighter ever to do so. Following his victory, Ali retired from boxing, only to make a brief comeback 2 years later. Ali, who once claimed he could float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, left the sport permanently in 1981. Wyverlyn Gager joined the staff of the Daily Gleaner as a trainee reporter and was assigned to cover the courts on this day in 1975. It was her birthday. She would eventually go on to become the first female editor-in-chief of the Gleaner. Wyverlyn Gager. Anthony Abrams was reappointed Director of Tourism for a further 3 years on this day in 1972. The environmental group Greenpeace was founded on this day in 1971. On this day in 1968, Housing Minister Wilton Hill was shocked to discover that people who had bought houses built by government at Alligator Pond in Manchester had rented them to women of easy virtue who ply their profession of pleasure when ships are in nearby ports. My God, are you following how this thing was written? So children would have to be really smart to figure out what they were talking about. Well written. 1968. Listen carefully and tell us what let's see what you can pick up from this bit of information. Housing Minister, this is 1968, as reported in the Gleaner. Housing Minister Wilton Hill was shocked to discover that people who had bought houses built by government at Alligator Pond in Manchester had rented them to women of easy virtue who ply their profession of pleasure when ships are in nearby ports. He calls for a list of these owners to see if grounds can be found to repossess the houses. I hope you got it. But that was supremely well written, just to ensure that only those who needed to know what that was about would understand what in terms of the wording. Let's go to 1963. On this day in 1963, a bomb exploded during Sunday morning services in the 16th Street Baptist Church in Birmingham, Alabama, killing 4 young girls. With its large African-American congregation, the 16th Street Baptist Church served as a meeting place for civil rights leaders like Martin Luther King Jr., who once called Birmingham a symbol of hardcore resistance to integration. Alabama's Governor George Wallace made preserving racial segregation one of the central goals of his administration, and Birmingham had one of the most violent and lawless chapters of the Ku Klux Klan.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106. You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30.
Tune in to Farm Talk every second and third Tuesday of each month at 6:18 a.m. for the feature High-Pro Food Independence. High-Pro Food Independence will focus on solutions for farmers, such as land, animal husbandry, agronomy, and more. That's High-Pro Food Independence every second and third Tuesday from 6:18 to 6:30 a.m. during Farm Talk, only on Power 106 FM. High-Pro Food Independence is sponsored by High-Pro.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:29. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:29. 现在几点了？5点12:19分。29 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Let's clear some of these messages. Hello to Angela in Toronto, Canada. She's saying hi to Miss Tiny. Sent info to your WhatsApp, she says. Sandra Gibson says, good afternoon, Dervan Malcolm. So good to be home with Dr. Terika. And that's your genius of a daughter. Welcome home to both of you. We gather that you're very busy in Jamaica, but you haven't come to tell us what's happening. I don't understand. I haven't seen a message from you unless I missed it, because we didn't stamp your passports. Hello. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sandra Gibson and Dr. Terika M. Welcome home. Good to have you on Jamaican soil. Let's clear some more messages. Ouch. Oops. This message looks like this is from Miss Dahlia. Dahlia Walker Huntington. Let's see if we can forward this thread of messages, assuming Miss Dahlia is on this phone. Let's see if she's on this one or it's the other one. Let's see. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Looks like it might be the other phone that she's on. All right, we'll make sure she gets the message. Let's go to another one, another WhatsApp message. Pauline, otherwise known as Maxine, has sent us a voice note. We haven't been able to listen to it yet. Sorry about that. Perhaps in the next break. Perhaps in the next break we'll get to listen to it. How about that? Thank you very much. All right, let's go back to the history here. Where were we? Let's go to 1959. Sir Florizel Glasspool, leader of the House of Representatives, gave notice of a motion seeking to amend the standing orders of the House to make the seat of a member vacant if he does not attend 5 consecutive sittings of the House during a session, unless he has the leave of the Speaker. Hello to all members of the Glenmuir High School family. You would know your school history, and if you're paying attention, then you would know that it was on this day in 1958 that Glenmuir High School welcomed its first batch of 55 students and 4 members of staff, including the principal, Dr. Sidney Stone. His Excellency Sir Kenneth Blackburn, Governor of Jamaica, officially declared the school opened 2 weeks later. Known then as Glenmuir Coeducational High, the school was part of an extensive educational program launched that year by the then Lord Bishop of Jamaica, the Right Reverend Percival Gibson, a great man. History records that Custos George W. Muirhead offered his property in Mocko, Clarendon, as a possible site for the school. Eventually, the location of his Maypen home, situated on 25 acres of land, was made available at a cost of £13,500. Robert Deroux was entrusted with the task of making sure that Mr. Muirhead was forever immortalized in the name of the school, hence the name Glenmuir. Glen is from the Gaelic, Gaelic, the Gaelic Glen or Glen, Glen, Gleann. So Glen is from the Gaelic, Gleann, which means a narrow and deep mountain valley. So anywhere that, when any place name with Glen being a part of it refers to a narrow and deep mountain valley, especially in Scotland or Ireland. And Muir, M-U-I-R, is the first part of George Muirhead's surname. And so Glenmuir was born on this day in 1958. Today, the school's population stands at 1,459 students with about 79 teachers. This information is dated. Those numbers might have gone up, but that was the history of Glenmuir High School for you, with a proud history and heritage. Good afternoon to the members of the Glenmuir family. And I'm trying to remember the motto. What's the motto again? Glenmuir High School motto. It's not coming back to me right now. So let's see if I can bring it up. Glenmuir High School motto. The motto is, where is it? Well, if you know it, message us quickly. I'm trying to remember it even as I'm trying to find it. The motto of Glenmuir High School. See if we can bring it up. Come on, where's your motto, Glenmuir? I'm on your website now, Glenmuir High School. Where is your motto? Not seeing it. Come on. All right, someone message us the Glenmuir motto, please. Send us the Glenmuir High School motto right now on 365-3346, 365-3346. I thought it would be on the website. Why are we not seeing it? Let's see if anybody has messaged us with the motto of Glenmuir High School. Do you know it? Post it for us, please. Post it on Facebook or on YouTube, or send it to the text line, which is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Yes, I know a few of the mottos, not all of them, I'm not remembering Glenmuir's motto at the time, at the moment. Uh, hmm. All right, still not seeing it. History. Uh, all right. When as soon as you're able to, those of you out there listening, as soon as you're able to, please send the information to 365-3346 or post it on our YouTube channel or on Facebook. Nobody knows? Where are they? The motto of Glenmuir High School. Where are the Glenmuir students? Come on, let's hear it. What's the motto? What's the motto? All right, I'm sure someone will send it to us soon enough. Uh, yeah. But everybody knows my all-time favorite motto, right? Yes, we've shared that before on this program. My all-time favorite motto is the one that says, learn or leave. Full stop. Learn or leave. It doesn't get better than that. Learn or leave. After all, why do you go to school if not to learn? And if you don't care too much for learning, and well, let your parents and guardians know and see where else might accommodate you since you are not interested in learning. Yeah, that's the motto. Learn or leave. Cornwall College. The Cornwall College motto. Learn or leave. All right, let's continue with more here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Let's go to 1957. Delegates at the annual conference of the People's National Party passed a resolution moved by Vivian Blake and seconded by Iverall Davis, seeking to lower the voting age from 21 to 18. This proposal was first made by the Jamaica Youth Movement in 1943. I think we lost a bit of the rest of this story, but that's the essence of it. 1953, 119 Jamaicans left the island by air for the United States en route to Britain to seek jobs. They traveled via Avianca Airlines, KLM, Royal Dutch Airlines, and BOAC. Is there anybody listening to us now who remembers this? 1953, 100 on this day in 1953, 119 Jamaicans left the island by air for the United States en route to Britain to seek jobs. They traveled by Avianca Airlines, KLM, Royal Dutch Airlines, and BOAC. Do you get it now then? Watch this. These people, these Jamaicans, who in 1953, this was round about the same time that we had the Windrush generation heading to the UK, as far as my memory goes. I think it was around the same time. So these Jamaicans, these 119 Jamaicans who left the island by air for the United States en route to Britain to seek jobs, they started a tradition. They started a trend. They laid the foundation, because then they made the UK their home eventually, and were instrumental in the creation of and enhancement and expansion of Jamaican communities, not just in the UK, but in the United States and elsewhere in the world. And they would have performed at the highest level, to the point where they are regarded as that group of people, largely responsible, for example, for the development and establishment of the National Health Service, the NHS, in the United Kingdom. A lot of Jamaican nurses and other medical professionals played their part in building the National Health Service in the United Kingdom. And so a trend started, a reputation developed. Jamaicans developed that reputation of doing quality work, excellent work, and doing it in a professional way, very professional way. And so look at where we are now in 2022, and we are saying, oh boy, we're losing our teachers, teacher migration, and so on and so forth, etc. Well, they're just continuing what started, or building on. It didn't start in 53, but 1953 was a watershed period. But the trend is, we're just continuing a tradition. It's a Jamaican tradition. The tradition continues. Let's move on. 1952, exactly 41 years to the date that John Crook's first biscuit factory was completed, his granddaughter, Margaret Clark, laid the cornerstone of the Jamaica Biscuit Company's new factory at 106 Spanish Town Road in Western Kingston. 1949, the U.S. Oops, look at the time. One moment, please.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Hour 106. You're listening to
4:45.
Me no know about
The party blazes on a higher level. They rep your sports team and come blaze with us inside Fame Frequency Jersey Party. 9 p.m. to midnight. Tune in as we kick off the championship entertainment with the musical mixes by DJ Kevin, DJ Xavier, and DJ Howell, alongside me, your host, Pereske. Come party with us in studio or show off your Smirnoff vodka mixes in our Zoom VIP WhatsApp area. Tune in live on Fame 95 FM, Kids 92 FM, and RETV. Online at Walls Media and on Mixcloud at Fame Frequency. So, rep your sport, rep your team. This Saturday inside the ultimate Fame Frequency Jersey Party. Powered by Smirnoff Vodka, the world's #1 vodka. You must be 18 years or older to drink. Drink and party responsibly. See you there.
give me freedom.
Senators, congressmen, please heed the call. Don't stand in the doorway.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:13. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5:13. 现在地点了5点加13分. 13 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Thanks to our colleague Vivette Malcolm. She said, thanks to Google, she found the motto for Glenmuir High School. Is it Flagrans Veritatis Studio or Flagrans Veritatis Studio? Essentially means burning with the zeal for truth. Burning with the zeal for truth. These mottos were very well thought of, weren't they? Burning with the zeal for truth. Let's continue with more on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Thank you very much. Let's go to the phone lines. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
You know, I had to tell you the matter, but I could. But you just came to the phone.
Oh, that's why you called.
Yeah, that's my alma mater.
Oh, I didn't know that. Good
Yes,
school,
yes.
man. Good school. Good school.
Yeah. I remember the headmaster, well, he could know you even from the head back from a mile away.
Oh, I knew a teacher like that, the late Mrs. Davis. When the boys used to try to sneak past, let's say she was teaching a class in the language lab, and they're trying to sneak past, and then she just called them by name, and you should see them reversing.
Even favorite to me used to say, he take you and dims you at the master. I remember him well, Mr. Scott.
Yes.
Yes. Dervan, like yesterday I was telling you about the song, People Gotta Be Free.
Yes.
But the guy wrote in Ocho.
Uh-huh.
He said he was listening to his radio. I forgot the type of radio he had. But the word I was searching for, he said he was on a hiatus.
Oh.
Yes. And he said he listened to the news. I remember the Friday when they killed Kennedy. It was a Friday.
Oh.
Because it was November the 22nd.
I see what you mean.
And my birthday was the next day.
The 23rd.
Yeah, I remember when I was going to a prep school then.
Okay.
Yes. And he said the whole idea just dawned on him.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a white boy, you were discriminated against. And those were the days when black acts used to play separate and white acts play separate.
Mm-hmm.
But he always included black acts to open his show. I remember this group, Young, Old, and everything.
Uh-huh. Hello? Did we lose him? Hello? Oh, there. Sorry about that. The call dropped. Sorry about that. Please call back if you're listening. Quickly, another bit of history. The U.S. authorities announced on this day in 1949 that Vernon Field, the U.S. Naval and Air Base in southern Clarendon, which was built during the last World War, would be closed and all operations cease from the 1st of January 1950, and that beginning October 1st, 1949, equipment, materials, and other facilities will be offered for sale. 1944, by deed poll, William Alexander Clark officially changed his name to William Alexander Bustamante. Once again, on this day in 1944, by deed poll, William Alexander Clark officially changed his name to William Alexander Bustamante. That's 1944, a significant year. That's the year of universal adult suffrage, the right to vote for the majority of people in this country. The right to vote existed, but it was for the minorities, those who owned land, etc., etc. 1944, it was time for everybody to get on board. Let's see. 1942, in fact, hold on, let's take a break and go to the phone line. Let's go to Miss June in Norway. Hello, how are you?
I'm
Good. Welcome. What's on your mind?
I'm listening. We love your topic, you know. We love your history tonight. Me born in the 50s in Adara, man.
Yes.
I'm a father lived
a young lady like you, born in the 50s. You can't be serious.
Me no shame to tell when me born 1953. Anyway, let me tell you now, me say my father in England from them time when me have about 3-4 year old. And my father still in England. I'm 90 now, in next birthday, I'm going to be 91 and he's still in England. And these guys come to England to do the dirty work where the white man never want to do. Even if my husband a white man, but me still attack the truth because I'm a honest person. And he still did it. And a lot of these guys, a lot of them never turn back to Jamaica, not even for a day, you know. A lot of them work on their whole land in England and they never even get to come back to Jamaica on Jamaica side one day. Anyway, so my father lucky still alive. So me have my family all over. Me have 3 sisters in England, my half sister. Me have my nieces, nephews. But I have my family all over the place. Anyway, me not say nothing more about that. Me have 3 English sisters, born English. They when they come back to Jamaica for holiday, born English, same father, different mother. See, their mother died, for my mother died, but my father alive. And they are so nice and kind to me. Whenever, okay. So even here in Norway too, you know, a lot of the work in Norway are foreigner come and work. The Norwegians don't want to do it. People come from all over, nurses, doctor, blah, 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 and work. And it's good to me too. Because that's why I reach a foreigner now when I get the opportunity to do things where they never want to do. And you know what I mean at the end, Dervan?
What?
We better off than them.
True.
We can't live with them. Them start get jealous because things where they don't want to do, we do it. And in the end, we better off than them. We live better life than them. And then jealous now. Anyway, I'm not saying nothing more because me husband and all with that. What are the truth? Anyway, me tell you, so me have one story to tell you.
Yes.
And me I go tell you, because I'm so proud, so me I go tell you. But me not tell you yet because me don't love talk too quick.
All right.
Me love talk. Anytime me talk to you, I say, Dervan, so and so. Me can't say, okay, Dervan, go right this one, check it out yourself.
All right.
Okay, darling.
I will remember that. Thank you.
Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, the story of Jamaicans at home and abroad. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. We have a few more messages before we go. This one says, could you pass on my number to Miss Dahlia, please? All right, we'll deal with that. This one says, this is from Patriotic Jamaican in New York. Mr. Malcolm, some time ago I visited Jamaica. I attended a function where the national anthem was being sung. When we reached the section where the words Jamaica land, Jamaica, Jamaica, Jamaica land we love was sung, I was shocked to hear the crowd shouting out the sound of boo each time the word Jamaica was repeated. Mr. Malcolm, it sounded as if the crowd was imitating gunshots. I'm yet to hear an explanation as to what exactly is meant by singing the national anthem that way. All right, here's the thing. My good friend of many, many years, who is now pretty much my colleague within the same building, except that he is now in the RGR 94 FM studio on the 2 Live crew. That's my good friend Christopher Johnny Daly. He was in a production, a play, and there's a section of that play that was used as the promotional material for the production. There was a clip from that was used to promote the play. And in that clip, my good friend Christopher Johnny Daly was singing, Jamaica, boom, Jamaica, boom. And that's how it started. That's how it started. So that's where that is from, Patriotic Jamaican in New York. Thank you very much for your message. It's not too far from what Stanley intended when he did Oh, Fimi Island ta boom, Jamaica Island ta boom. So it was a takeoff. Yeah, it's that's how that came about. And someone belatedly sent us the motto for Glenmuir: Flagrans Vertatis Studio, burning with zeal for truth. Carmelita, thank you very much. David Crossburn also sent us the Glenmuir High School motto. Thank you very much. Greetings, Dervan. G.A. Muirhead, who sold the land for the school, was attorney for Welshman Henry Morgan, Denbigh Sugar Estate, which ceased operations in 1920. Thank you very much, David. We know you're on top of the history when it comes on to these matters. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Thursday, the 15th of September, 2022. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
You're listening to Pearl 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and critical.